Killaroos got nothing to lose. Australia, Australia. Killaroos got nothing to lose. Australia, Australia. So what we got here is it's a typical Australian dish. It's not an expensive dish, but it's something that the whole family can make. I mean, even the kids can make it. If you're out chasing kangaroos, then your kids can just make this while you're away.
If your kids have gone to college for about 10 years, they could maybe handle this. Maybe, if you gave them the leeway.
Is that meat dingo meat? Because I suspect it might be, but judging by that,
meat, yeah.
judging by that sort of rind of fat.
Smoked pieces of dingo.
Okay.
Yes, dingo rind.
Okay.
Dingo, which is surprisingly similar to Ringo meat.
Yeah, which was only on the market for a little while. I mean, Ringo was just one guy.
Now.
No, you go.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I was just going to say that.
So all the vegetables used in this dish, basically this sort of shape, really. I mean, you're basically cutting things into little circles that were originally this sort of shape. Is that the inspiration for the vegetables that go into this dish?
That's the inspiration. The idea, I'm seeing as the dish is called the dick of some young guy. All the ingredients have to be in the shape of a cockaroo.
Okay.
And that's why we go for the dingo meat, because it actually comes in strips shaped like a dick.
Are you going to let the flavours infuse?
Well,
is that an important process in this dish?
What's important about the roux is that the flavours have to infuse with the other ingredients. And we don't want it to be overpowering now, do we?
Definitely not, I would imagine. Let's go back over here to Batwell and see. Now, are you going to give us a bit of an insight into how you're chopping these penis-shaped vegetables?
Well, I'm chopping them from big penis shapes into smaller, much more
manageable
and more refined penis shapes.
And they fit in your mouth.
They're more geometrical. You can eat them.
I'm going to try
for a starter. Yeah.
Let's give it a go. The important thing about food, whether it's made in Australia or New Zealand or the deep plains of Oman, the most important thing is that you can eat it. On my side of here, I'm taking the roux meat, which is actually a roux cocker spaniel. It's a mixed breed between a cocker spaniel and a roux, commonly called a cockaroo. And I need to chop this up real fine because I don't actually have much meat tonight. So what I have to do is infuse these flavours with the carrot dick and the courgette dick.
So basically, it's two dicks and a roux. Is that what?
So what I'm going to do is throw this in a pan over there, which I've already started warming up the pan. And in the big pot I've got some taters. Not
Okay.
cats, I've got some taters.
Alright, let's go over there and have a look, shall we? And here we have the taters. I'll take a quick peek, quickly, not to let the steam all out.
As you can see, it's taken me about 6 hours to chop up a few carrots, and it's not normally how it's done, but I'm basically a little bit retarded.
Again, while potatoes are heating up, I've got the roux dick in the other pan, okay? Because we like our dick. No, I'm gonna let the bacon do its thing over there.
What's that? Is that some fresh livestock for the after dinner dessert? Or?
You know, he's going in a bit later. He doesn't know it yet.
Is that a rabbit of some sort?
It's a black-backed dassie is what that is.
Hello, little rabbit. It looks more like a miniature panther rabbit of some sort.
You want to go in the pan?
Into the pan?
Once the bacon's done, once the bacon's nice and red, yeah, because bacon goes red if you do it right. Once the bacon's red, we're going to throw that up, and we've only got 2 pans here. We've only got 2 spices. Aye.
Hey.
So you know, with the other spice, we're going to also get a little pot and make a cheese sauce. You know, with the cheese sauce, it's also made from the roux. You know, the roux lower half, the roux dick, and it's a roux dick cheese. It's amazing.
What were those little creatures used to hunt in the the backwoods of Northern Territory when you were only a young lad?
Well, the creatures used to hunt us some of the time. They used to come out of the bush straight with their little knives and their little maps. They had like we've got Google Maps now.
Yeah.
They had little maps that they drew in pieces of wood.
Because you know what I thought it was? Basically, it's the strange phenomenon where you've got a bunch of koala bears that basically they find their way into kangaroos' pouches, and then the kangaroos consequently kill their own young because they like the fluffiness of the koalas.
We just to add something here, like to be a roo wasn't easy. You know, you've got this great big, you know, this pouch, and every time it rains, it fills up with water, and it makes them real heavy. And it's not an easy life. You know?
No, I would imagine it wouldn't be.
It's not an easy life at all. And you've got some, you know, Piss Willie Australian trying to harvest their willies. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you've got enough trouble as it is, really.
Yeah. It doesn't help having your pouch filling up with water all the time.
Yeah.
Or other chemicals as we would sometimes.
Acid rain, for instance. Oh, my bacon's burning here. So I'm going to, Mr. Wombat, I'm going to give this back to you, Wombat.
We have Batwell.
I'm back in the kitchen. I've never left. I've been cutting into pieces continuously all night. It's taken me about 12 hours, and I've basically cut about 2 carrots up. And
So now I have another question. What are your feelings towards the South African government?
well, it's a load of fucking shit, isn't it? I mean, we thought we had problems back in Oz. You know, where they make you get this little business, like you want to start a business, but you've got to get a little ABN, it's an Australian business number. It's like you're a fucking kettle being branded or something. Like, you know, we slaughtered the cattle out in the dunes, and we tossed the bits that we don't like into the sand, so that the lizards can get them. And that's the way we feel about it, you know. We maybe tossed them to the abos, and you know, here in South Africa it's even worse. You got one big head honcho at the top, draining the blood of the land. Not literally, because the land can't bleed, because it's made of soil. It's got water in it, not blood. But he's basically taking the shit out of the entire race, the entire country. It's depending on the leadership, but all they're getting is being fucked up the arse. Like, you know, when you put your penis, like let me demonstrate, when you slide your penis up inside an arse, you pop the cheeks lightly, and then you inject, like a fuel injector on a car, you know, a nice rhythmic motion with timing and everything. That's basically what the South African government is doing at the moment to the South Africans.
I mean, how do you survive around here without knowing a bit of the, like, you know, the politics and all? Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been here? Have you been travelling with Batwell, or have you been on your own journey and met up with him?
You know, Batwell and I, we're like mates, you know. Like, I wanted to come down here with him originally, but I had some, like, other commitments, with my females,
We hear.
Oh, you hear? My female, like, she was like some throwback sort of, you know, gimp, you know, mixed with a politician. She was quite attractive to me anyway.
But kind of a bitch.
Yeah, kind of a bitch.
Was she a bit slow?
She was a little bit slow, a little bit, you know, I mean, it's not to say
Backwoods
she didn't...
sort of thing, you know.
Well, she kind of, you know, she spent a little bit of time in Admiral Elizabeth's, you know, tard home, you know, with the tards.
Cackling with the people there. Hello.
You know, she had
Momberg.
Momberg, yeah, from New
she
Zealand.
really couldn't bring herself to fly. She was quite scared of the plane.
Yeah.
She thought it was like, you know, a big bird. And I really couldn't convince her otherwise. I even had to, like, you know, have a chat with Dave Attenborough, and he was like, this is not a bird.
He actually said it's categorically not a bird. He'll fucking place his cock on the chopping block. That's not a goddamn bird.
When will you be skinning the rabbit over there?
The rabbit comes last.
It's a bit, I must say, it's very obedient. It's hasn't left. It's sort of. All this cooking going on and various meats being.
You think it would have been picked up something in its DNA about being slaughtered on the spot, but it's basically sitting there like a fucking. Like a chump.
This is what attracts us about this particular species of
rabbit.
Yeah. Is that, you can catch him, and then you can just leave the fucking door open.
And then you can sort of keep it as a pet up until the point that you actually slaughter it.
As long as you feed it some grits.
So, now, I've got a very interesting question, because you've got this sort of, you're cooking there in the corner and you've got this sort of fly catcher banging against your head every couple of seconds. No. Is that something symbolic? Is it...
Anthony, you've got it all wrong there. It's not really a fly catcher.
Momberg.
Momberg, you've got it all wrong. That's not really a fly catcher. What that does is it gives me a certain angle from which I can work out what and where the centre of the pot is. So that's basically just a direction finder.
Okay.
The fact that there's a couple of flies sitting on there is just immaterial.
So should we just take a short break, and can you sort of update us on the sort of progress of the food?
Well, to be honest, I'm struggling a little bit with my
sauce. Seems to be making some sort of scrambled egg or something there.
It appears that way, and it shouldn't look this way. But I appear to be struggling with the sauce.
Is it in fact a scrambled egg that you are making?
No, you see the problem with this is that the pot is like, it's concave, and it's all like running down to...
Concrete.
It's concrete. It's a concrete pot. And I've never really seen this, but ShopRite was like, wow, this is amazing.
ShopRite?
Yeah, ShopRite. Because it's a much cheaper pot, and it doesn't give you
You're at the shop, right?
I was at the ShopRite.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually called ShopRite.
Oh, okay.
They make you believe, they pull the bloody woolly over your eyes, and they make you believe that, that you're actually shopping right, And, I don't know.
So they didn't have the sort of luxurious flavours and spices and herbs that you were used to back in Tasmania, where you're from, apparently.
Tasmania is it's not a really fertile land, but we might do what we can, with the shavings of pubic hairs of some young guy and such things, and fly legs and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes Ayers Rock, you go out specifically to Ayers Rock, you're located with your GPS, and even though it's a deep fucking, an obvious spot right in the middle of the desert, a giant rock, you can't miss it, but yet you still need your GPS to find it. And you find the rock, and you go underneath, and you find yourself some dingoes. That's where they live. That's the only place they live, which is weird because they're everywhere otherwise. And you find them. You've seen the movie The Highlander. It's an old Scottish movie from back in the day. Basically, you take a Japanese samurai sword that we all carry, strangely enough, in Australia. You do about 3 swings, and I'll demonstrate it to you. Imagine this is your samurai sword. You do about 3 swings when you get to Ayers Rock from your GPS. You take your samurai sword. You do about 3 swings like this, and then you do another 3 in the opposite direction. And then you
stab your mate.
No, not your mate. That comes later. You take the samurai sword and you stab it overhead into the head of the dog.
Yeah.
Dingo, like that. And then it's almost dead, but not quite. So
okay.
What you need to do is you need to then swing around a few more times, like so. But then you need to lift the blade, bring it down in the head, on the back of the neck, and then basically that's it. Then it's straight into the roaster, because you carry a nice big deep fryer with you.
Do you also bring a friend to maybe take all the fluff off it, or that sort of thing?
No, we generally leave the fluff on. We're not too worried. It kind of contributes to the crispiness of the skin afterwards.
Okay.
We like it natural,
The feathers, yeah.
Feathers are good. feathers and fur. You know, kind of get stuck in your teeth a bit, but you know that's all part of the experience. And then we take the rest back to our mums.
We've got a bit of a dilemma here. You see, like Batwell and myself, we haven't really been communicating really well because we've been talking to you, the viewers, so much. And you want to throw in the carrots like before the taters were done. Now the taters are done, but the carrots aren't in there.
Now we're fucked, basically. We've got half a dish
We're
done.
basically fucked. But it's not fucked.
May I
Totally fucked.
may I give you
completely okay.
may I give you a suggestion? How about feeding the carrots to a little rabbit over there? Oh, where's it gone?
A rabbit does is
Right, I'm just going over here to get some spices.
Oh, I think we're kind of missing out all the action here in the food. We're just doing so much talking, which is lovely, folks. But
this is a very rare spice that you can find all over
we've
the
got
world.
any potatoes? No, we've got scrambled egg.
No, this is not scrambled egg. This is milk and flour. I'm making a cheese sauce.
Cheese.
I'm using a very rare.
Cheese. He's making cheese.
I'm using a very rare mix of spices that is extremely rare that you can only find all over the world. After that, we're throwing some seasoned salt, also extremely rare. You can't find that anywhere except basically everywhere around the world. What she does is it roasts the masala. Masala is another name for rabbit. So when you use the roasted masala, you don't actually have to use, you know, a toaster to do your rabbit like most people do. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you'll find that most people take a rabbit in a slicing type, you know, mechanism. And they'll slice the rabbit into thin slices like bread and then put it in the toaster. We don't need to do that because we've got roasted masala rabbits.
Okay, yeah. Well, you guys are pretty kitted out. You obviously did some. Did you peruse the local markets and bazaars and such, and sort of hand-pick your spices?
You know, for these ingredients tonight, even though it's an extremely simple dish that anybody can do just from the ingredients from cupboard, you still have to travel all over the world to get them. So we went absolutely everywhere. But, you know, to create this dish, we went basically everywhere. We went to New York. New York was amazing. It was incredible. And
what's with the New York? The way
well, I mean, in New York,
it's open all night. It's
you
open
go to
in
New
the
York,
morning.
you buy some prosciutto. You know, you buy stuff. When you're in
You
New York.
got it.
That's what
You got
do.
it.
That's
You
what
got
Hey,
it.
don't be a wise guy.
Forget about it.
You got a guy.
it.
You want something? You got a guy. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm walking here. Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yes. Get out of my
After
lane.
New York, no problem. After New York, went to Scotland. Scotland, we found amazing ingredients. You won't believe it, from the very heart of the Highlands. It's fucking amazing. We found a great big haggis. This haggis is, I've got this haggis everywhere. I've got it in my fridge, in my cupboards, but I can't find any haggis anywhere because I don't have
They
it.
grow out of the exhaust pipe of your car when you leave your car lying back in the swamp.
What a wally.
Launchpad, no launchpad.
What?
I found it in the swamp and I drove it out and I drove it back and I told me dad, don't take me to the swamp again because
But
the
when
haggis
we crossed the border to Ireland, then it was a completely different story. And then I thought, well, you know, we could get some white beets or some carrots, so we could make a plan. You know, surely there'd be the right amount of milk. We could find full cream milk. We could make a milkshake by shaking a milky cow. You know.
The milky cows, they're praised right above you women. You women has to kneel down like a tradition and tweak the tits of the milky cow over and over again just to get that little bit of butteriness.
Like that.
Buttery
When we were
milk.
in France, it was completely different. It was not the same. Yeah? We go to France, you say, hey, we must go to France, cannot take this caravan to France. They will give us the extra taxes to cross the border. And we met a friend, Yo-Yo, and he said, oh, come to my home, we'll make wine, we'll make love, we'll make party, you know. And we get there and it's dessert. It is like a dessert, you know.
Like it is, it's in the outback. Yes. I do say, when we went to England, to the fields where the rabbits do ram, and we took a few rabbits on the ends of leashes to go snuffling for some mushrooms.
Well, golly, your farm is rather small. I only call it an estate. It's more like a apothecary or something.
Yeah, it's a palace, I tell you, compared to what you have.
Palace compared to what you have now.
It's equivalent to a small backpacker's residence on the edge of town.
Maybe that's why you came here, Long Dirk, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Because you could make yourself seem like you had lots of money just by,
Well,
buying a massive piece of unfertile farm in the Caribbean.
Well, I like the unfertile farm especially. I can bury dead bodies under there. That's something I can do, and we can make it more fertile. And in the business that I'm in, which is burying dead bodies, and goodness, I make a good patch of money from it. I buy the bodies off the internet for about £2 a body, and then I bury them, and I make about £1 back. That's not profit, that's turnover. I make about £1 on a £2 body. And I don't really have any way of explaining why it is that I went into this line of business. Practically because well, it's dignified. I'd say it's dignified.
You've always been a hoarder. You've always riding around in India and trotting across the globe trying to find the most abominable of trophies. And I don't even have in my garden shed. It's disgusting. Really.
Well, I take this rather personally because I've made quite a business out of it.
Yes, you've made a business out of the wrong people. You come to my country, colonizing, and all I wanted to do was make flowers and bathe in the very clean Ganges. I got ear infection, it's fine. I have tooth infection, and eye infection, and pink eye, and purple bum. And I all got this from the Ganges. But it's very clean river and it's very purifying.
And when interested in goat, when we have nothing but goat to speak to from the clouds above, then you know that the rock dashes are not going to be falling out of the sky forever. But you're going to have to go back into the fields, and you're going to have to scrounge them, like from right to left, and left to right. You're going to have to grab them and scrape them and put them in a little bag and take them back to your family. And cook them up nice, real nice.
But what is your views on Deepak Chopra? Deepak Chopra preaches all these amazing things, but all he really does is make a love with Oprah. Deepak Chopra is having sex with Oprah.
Well, Oprah is quite a hottie when you really think about it. He likes...
Oh, boy, the thing I really like about Oprah is she's like 1/3 Chinese, 1/3 black, and 1/3 fat. And I really like that in a woman.
Go.
She's so fit. Oprah is so fit, she could feed my family and about 10,000 other families around the Ganges for about 10,000 years. It's from good.
Yeah, go.
Oh, welcome to Chan's Kitchen. See here we have cream sauce, cream of samyang goat. Yeah, I'm Mr. Chan and this is my comrade, Mr. Wang. Wow.
Yeah. I like to do my exercises every night. This is my kimosabe.
Oh, Mr. Wang, you think 'cause I referee, I work Nagasaki. You'll be wrong. You like city food? Huh? You want city food? Here's your city food, motherfucker!
Go back to your fucking family. We have a supper inside the rice patty. We're going to the rice paddy field, and we bring back the peas. This year's harvest for peas. And we bring it back, and we put it on in a wok. We put it in a wok. We slice it up real good. And we put it in a wok.
Welcome to my little kitchen. I tell we have some tacos going. No, that's not tacos, excuse me. I drank too much tequila this morning. This is not a taco, this is just a milk sauce, yeah? Milk sauce, the cheese sauce, homie. Oh, yeah. Gringo, look here, Gringo, you like? This is the cheese sauce, Gringo.
Don't do it, don't screw it up like you did last year, bro. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, homie, you set your face, home. This is fucking proper. This is the proper cheese sauce, man.
No, man, you're making out of the wrong stuff again, man.
No, I use the cheddar down the road from the spa. This is the original cheddar cheese.
You gotta get it from the left field on the right. You know, when you go outside and the sun is to the right and the field to the left, you gotta go to the right field, man, and harvest it.
Right field, home. Man, we haven't had no water since fucking Obama took over, Holmes. We ain't got no water, we ain't got no fucking field. I got this is the farm and dime.
Oh God, I feel so lazy right now. I haven't even eaten or done nothing today, but I feel so goddamn lazy. I could just lie here all night, S.A. I've got no motion in my bones. I'm clinically dead, my doctor telling me. And hopefully tonight we have a big feast. A bigger feast. There's no chili, because for some strange reason...
You're talking like that.
Strange reason, Gringo. The entire Mexico dried up of all the chilies. Now, for some reason, we're importing the chilies from India and from Spa in South Africa. We got no chilies in Mexico. Can you believe it? I say, I can't. 4 hours.
Señor, mi familia es so grande, es más grande. Este es no bastante comer para mi familia.
It looks like you ejaculated into a pot, S.A. We must. Wait.
Okay, off we go.
You do not know how to make a cheese sauce. You must, oh no, wrong one. Okay, cut.
Escape! I cannot let Apalep escape again. I must go and fix us drink.
You cannot fix us drink.
What you say, comrades?
You know nothing about drink. Last time I sent you to bar, you come back with tequila.
I love a tequila.
You are not Mexican.
You know my mother taught me about tequila when I was very young.
This. You feel this? This is Mother Russia. This is not tequila land. You betray your people.
But I love it with an olive and a little worm inside.
Oh, I know. This is amazing. I'm not Mexican again. So as you can see, we've been to many great and distant lands that were like extremely far away. And, you know, we had to fly to all these places.
You had to go through a lot of trouble and strife to get all those ingredients.
A lot of strife, but I did like basically do a little bit of grave robbing. But that's cool because I've got some like really wealthy, you know, ancestors that insisted on being buried with their family heirlooms. And so, you know, once I dug out these heirlooms, you know, of course I like employed some of my buddies and I paid them like so much money, but didn't actually give them anything at all. And I used these heirlooms and I sold them in the pawn shop. And I used that money to travel by.
So what's that you got there? Is that some of the Russian spice? Or
this was a Russian. What this actually is it's a type of grasshopper. And you can see the feelers coming off either side. It's quite rare. It only exists in most countries in the world. It's actually so rare it's becoming a problem.
This whole brinjal happens to be its counterpart.
Yeah.
But
that's actually the thorax of the grasshopper.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got its legs. Its three
I feel
legs
like I'm back in science class right here, right
It's
now.
really quite clever. What you have to do when you take the thorax, you split it open, and that guy over there, that's the spine. So we have to pull the spine out. Okay, all right. Now once we pull the spine out, basically you just want to quite gently. Okay. Now it's ready to go in the pot. Okay. Yeah, now because it's actually like quite full of ammonia, which is really dangerous but completely harmless to our bodies. So we've got to get rid of it. Alright? Right, now what's going on here? This is like the final touches to our dish. I know it seems like, you know, we're a long way off, but we're basically done. We're still miles away. So what we're going to do is we're going to split. I'm not happy with what Batwell's done here. I don't think he's really cut his twine enough. We always have this argument, you know, like when we like to bed together later on, we, you know, argue about like dildo sizes and all that. So, you know, the same argument sort of continues into our food.
So, are you chaps, sorry to interject, are you chaps, in fact, homosexuals? I didn't realise.
Yeah, we're like, you know, we're completely homosexuals, and yet we kind of mostly have sexual relations with women.
Yeah.
Never with guys, but like we're completely gay. Which is...
So, she-males or something like that?
It was basically, we were best of friends, never had a gay thought in our life up until yesterday. Then all of a sudden, boom, we were all over each other. But then, the very next minute, we were like, fuck, what the hell's going on? We're not gay.
Yeah.
We're not even hermaphrodite. So we were like, no, this is not on. But then 10 minutes after that, we were thinking again like, hey, maybe we should get together.
Yeah.
But then we realised again that we actually like girls. So we then called a series of girls on our phones, on our mobiles.
Yeah.
Local South African woman.
Yeah, which are like the best type, you know, especially Afrikaner girls.
Right. Do you mind if I steal one of these little penises? Is that okay?
I'm going to cook these fuckers. Right.
See that? That is actually.
Yeah, well, you must just throw that all in there with a little bit.
It's a mini cucumber or something like that. From their many journeys, they actually these chaps. I went down to their larder earlier, and they freeze vegetables from different parts of the world. It's quite an interesting thing. You don't see that too often.
Freezing vegetables?
It costs a lot to transport it because they keep one, you know, they basically got their stock and they've got sort of vegetable collector's items that they've collected in various parts of the world that they will never cook. But they take it with them on their journeys in these large... Okay, so what's happened now?
You called me. I was just licking the pot, you know, like the cheese sauce is so bloody grandiose, and I just said I had to clean the pot out, you know. But I've dished up already, it's over there.
So you finished just making a scrambled egg, and now you're just scraping off the little last bits of egg and butter and milk and such things?
No, don't be a tosser now. I told you this is not scrambled egg. This is cheese sauce.
As he put it. And it's basically shit.
Okay, and here we have it. The proud chefs are standing nearby. I'm sure the Epileptic Foundation is going to be very happy with their surprise dinner.
What I'm going to do, though...
The only thing I would say is there's only 3 plates. And there's about 5 epileptic victims that are here tonight.
Well, you see, what happens then, what I find with the epileptic victim is when they go into a fit, like, they don't remember what happened before the fit. So if I can convince them that I've actually already fed the little fuckers, then there'll be no problem really, because like they'll just believe that they've already been fed.
And what do you have to say about that?
They'll even feel full and everything. And then basically you just kick them out from their ass to go fiddle around in the garden outside for a while. And, you know, being a retard, that's basically enough that we don't have to feed them at all. In fact, we even though we have extra portions, we have about 6 portions.
Look at that.
That we made about 8 hours earlier.
Well, that's fantastic.
We don't have to feed them at all.
So have you guys cooked the rabbits? Is the rabbit inside this lovely gourmet dish here?
These potatoes, these taters that you see before you, are not. They look a lot like taters, but they're actually grown from the backs of rabbits.
What we actually did was we did like a rabbit reduction. We did a rabbit reduction.
We cut off the heads.
And like basically we boiled down a whole rabbit into like a teaspoon of like a reduced substance.
Of super concentrated rabbit essence.
Yeah, rabbit essence basically.
And well, that's basically how we do it back home. We got very few rabbits, because they can't really.
Your food.
Bloody wombat.
They can't really burrow into the sand.
Look at this lovely, the epileptic dentist conference room we've got here. It's perfect for our needs. We've set 3 table mats. We basically locked the epileptic victims in a chamber. It had a sign on the outside that said Auschwitz, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything to us really. Just a chamber we can lock people. there was a button that said turn gas on the outside. We didn't turn it on yet, but I mean.
Yeah, but we didn't really know either,
Yeah.
We just saw this bunch of rabbits in there.
Yeah.
You know, we were just trying to make a reduction.
Yeah, I mean, like if you think about it, there probably is enough food to maybe share with maybe, I don't know, a small person or something, like a little hobbit or a little dwarf person or something, right?
But I'd only do it as a kind of method of bait, where you put a little bit of food on a plate and you say, come close, and then when they get really close, you give them a big fat whack on the face.
Yeah. A walloping, aren't you?
You give them a good walloping.
So when is it a good time to moon a dwarf? I mean, have you guys ever thought about this?
Well, when the moon's full, that's a good time for mooning. But that's just an old wives' tale. The best time for mooning...
Butterlicious?
I'd say the best time for meeting a dwarf is like when they actually come out at night, and that's like Wombat over there says. It's actually like by the full moon, because then you can kind of see them. Because they're kind of small little fuckers, aren't they?
I'll happily accept it in its current form. And it's actually not too hot, which is quite amazing, because there's a lot of steam coming off the top of it.
Monberg looks super excited that he's got a plate of food in front of him.
I love a bit of food, I must be honest. Would you chaps like a bit of this lovely...
is it the Shitty Libertas?
Chateau?
The Shitty Libertas.
It's the Chateau Libertas, and I don't know where the fuck it came from.
Well, I believe it's actually from Zimbabwe.
Well, that's a very interesting...
Where do you say it's from? You say it's from Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe.
This is a very interesting story. There's actually a country that has the word wee in it, you know, like when you wee. When you need to take a wee on the bushes.
Yeah, but where is it from? You say it's from Zimbabwe, but where?
Zimbabwe.
Oh, is it?
Zimbabwe.
Not here, but out Zimbabwe. Out there.
Yeah, out there, where... What?
I see, okay.
So I was talking to my friend, and I said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Well, it's Bob."
Yeah.
So I said, "Well, tell us some, Bob. Tell us some." And he said, "Well, I'll tell us some, Bob boy." What?
Bob being the president of Zimbabwe, in fact.
Yes.
You is that running out?
I believe it's just on the verge. So here we have it. It's the Epileptic National Congregational Dinner. And it's just the three of us. It's no one seems to be joining us, and here we are.
Sometimes
Here we are.
sometimes people have told me that I look a little bit epileptic, so I suppose I qualify in this rare case, and that's convenient because we basically bashed up the rest of the epileptics and shoved them downstairs where they can't bother us, and you know, we locked him up outside with Rex, the dog, and for him he's used to it, but for them, you know, it's kind of a bit of a hell. They've got to scrummage around and eat things off the ground.
Fend for themselves, really.
Fend for themselves on this cold evening.
And they've got to be mindful of the pot shots being taken at the dwarfs that are running around outside.
They do. The dwarves are pretty rampant, and we haven't found a solution for them yet. But putting a bit of chlorine on the head might help. Maybe, you know,
throwing a few puff adders at them was never a bad idea.
No, that's par for the course.
And there was the time that Butterlicious stabbed with your old frozen carrot from the 1940s you have in your larder. He stabbed that one little epileptic through the chest. Do you remember that time?
Right through the chest. I mean, you know, like the little fucker was just irritating me. Like I was trying to make sex with my girl, like in the room, and this little fucker's just like tapping on the window.
Trying to lick your asshole. Oh no, not yet.
No, not yet. I mean,
not that. It wasn't that time.
He was tapping on the window, going like, "Boy, I'm trying to sleep down here." Like me and Rex, we had some kiblets, and we like to have some sleep now. And I'm like, "Oi, mate, this is my house." You know,
Get back in your kennel.
Yeah, like I'm back in my kennel with my bird, and like we're trying to make love, and like he's tapping on the window like he owns the place, you know, thinking because he's just had like, you know, 3 1/4 and a third fucking, you know, bowl of kiblets, like his tummy's full, like it's ready for bed now. So he's like tapping on the window, and I'm like going, oi, bugger off, you little cunt. Bugger off, eh? I'm going to get the little fucking dwarfs in your hind.
Cool. Oh, cheers, mate.
And he's like, like totally tapping on the window. So what I did was like, I went into the larder, the larder that you know about. Like,
we've
been in the larder.
They're full of frozen vegetables from the last 30 years or so.
Yeah, me and Wombat, we we travel the world and we collect frozen vegetables.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. And so like, I takes me a carrot. Like, I was thinking like, no, why don't I sharpen like a cucumber? Because it's longer and I could drive it right through his fucking sternum. And so like, I find, I'm like, oi, Wombat, where's the cucumber? And he's like, well, you put in that fucking chicory Caesar salad. So I was like, yeah, I'll fucking just get a carrot. I'll take the carrot and I go outside. Little Wombat is like, he's mounting Rex, So I stabbed him in the fucking chest, little cunt. He's mounting Rex.
That's fucking despicable.
They got no,
And how did Rex react to the whole thing? Because that's really what's on my mind.
Rex was like soaking it up, man. He was loving it.
Sheesh, I'm sure you taught him a lesson though after that.
Yeah. Rex was trying to get Roger in after that.
He's been known to take a dick or two, being out there on his own. He's got nothing left to do except just basically open his little legs and take a few dwarf dicks for time.
Well, mate, look, I think it's time to wrap up. My video camera has reached its end. My battery's reached its end. I think it's been a great time to experience a true journalist or travel journalist, experiences of the world, and his gay lovers, feedback on things and whatnot, and chefing skills. So this is, I would love to say a cheers and all the best for the future, and until tomorrow when you chaps what are you doing tomorrow? You going off on a bit of a tour? You guys are already into your boogie boarding on those old styrofoam boards. You guys are pretty strict about the way you do boogie boarding. It's an old styrofoam surfboard boogie boarding. Is that right? With a skeg,
basically we've taken the original concept of a boogie board, which is made from the Egyptian redwood tree, which grows all over Egypt, and that combines with your typical fiberglass surfboard, which was invented in Yemen in the early 1300s, because that's where epoxy actually comes from. And we've combined the two to make a soddy board, what we call a soddy board, which is a combination of surfboard and booger board.
Okay. Right.
It's really quite amazing because on a whim you can go from like standing up to lying down on your cunt, if you like.
If you could turn it around and put the skeg up your asshole if you like.
You can do that. It's got retractable fins. It's actually an amphibious vehicle. Especially.
Is it nocturnal too?
It's nocturnal, but specially fabricated wheels, which are actually taken from the original ShopRite trolley wheel design.
Okay, yeah. I know it well, actually.
From the bottom of the board, and you can take it into, the Denmarkian rainforest.
Yeah. So
it is a case where a Sikh from India, his name's Chunga Chunga. Actually, it's Chunga Chunga Wanga Wanga, but that's not how he likes to be addressed. He took one of these moogie boards and he fashioned. He paid millions upon billions of American, US, British pounds to convert it into a private wanga that he flew around the world several times and generally uses to go to meetings and see his family.
Yeah. Yeah, what Wombat said, yeah, that's true and correct. Yeah. quite nice, eh? I feel like
It was
I'm at
lovely.
me old lady's place because, like, you know, my mum was all about, like, you know, balancing the different flavours. And she said, you know, you can't have something so creamy without having something sweet and maybe a little bit acidic. You know, so you've got to have, like, you know, this rupturing, you know, combination of flavours. And she particularly liked me to, you know, eat something creamy.
That.
Yeah, well, you know, what Wombat says is completely true and correct. Although it's basically all false, you know. And not a single word of what he said was the truth. Although it all completely makes sense. It's completely accurate.
No, it does, yeah.
And, yeah, this stuff goes, you know. I mean, yeah, you know, I've been trying to market this, like, soddy board idea. But, you know, people calling me a wuss, you know. And I just, you know, like, just, oh, hang on a sec. Ooh, hang on a sec.